Take my hand. I'll lead you into death. By a Whisper in the Shadows, on AO3. Episode 33, Chapter 19. Izuku had been acting weird since he got back from the police station. The doctors had wanted to keep Katsuki in for observation, in case of further complications. That was 3 days ago. He was fucking ecstatic when they said he could leave that evening, noticing how Izuku had relaxed too. He put Izuku's fidgetiness and quietness up to him being uncomfortable. Laying in the bed after a nap before dinner, he was tired as fuck off, he was beginning to think that wasn't just the hospital. Izuku sat at the desk chair, holding an old All Might plushie. Izuku's old All Might plushie. Katsuki couldn't count the amount of nights he spent crying with that thing, praying Izuku was okay. Now, the same boy sat staring at the old toy. Staring. For 5 minutes. Completely oblivious to anything else. Katsuki sighed, pushing himself to sit at the edge of the bed. Izuku continued to stare at the old toy. Izuku? Still no reply. Not even a blink. Katsuki's burrows frowned. He got up and kneeled in front of the younger boy, reaching out slowly to pull his hand on top of the plushie. You good, Izuku? Izuku blinked back to the present. He stared into Katsuki's eyes, silent and still for an unnerving amount of time. But Katsuki waited for him. That's not what you call me. Katsuki's eyes widened before squinting in confusion. Huh? What are you talking about, Zuzu? You didn't call me that either. Izuku shook his head. Or you did, but there was something else. I had another name. What? Midoriya? I don't think I ever called you that. Katsuki suddenly trailed off, as it suddenly hit him what Izuku was talking about. He didn't want Izuku to remember that. Called him selfish, but he hated that time in his life. Hated how that person Katsuki was remembering was what he had taken. Izuku squinted at him, before Katsuki can continue, leaning into his eye line, when Katsuki looked away. You know, don't you? You know what I'm talking about. Izuku was getting agitated, as Katsuki continued to glare at the floor. I need you to tell me, Kachan. I know there's a name. There's not a name. Katsuki tried, but Izuku suddenly stood, forcing Katsuki back onto the floor. No! Izuku yelled back at him. Don't lie to me. Please don't lie to me. Not you. I know. There's something else. I can feel it. It's right here, but I can't. I don't know. He was breathing heavily, voice catching. Katsuki stood, moving back into Izuku's space to try to calm him down. Izuku gripped at his hair, pulling harshly at his strands. Hey, Izuku, calm down. You need to breathe. Katsuki tried, reaching for the boy's arms. Izuku pulled out of his reach. No, I need to know. Stop it. I need to. Why do you need to know? Katsuki interrupted, reaching for him again. Why won't you tell me? Izuku snapped back. Katsuki was startled by the tears brimming in his eyes. Because there's nothing to tell. Liar! Yes, there is! Izuku yelled, stepping up to him. Stop! Shove. Lying! Shove. Katsuki's gripped at his wrists. Tell me why you need to know. Tell me why you keep lying. Why are you lying to me, Kachan? Katsuki snapped. Because I'm selfish, he yelled. You want to know why I wouldn't tell you? I won't tell you because I don't want you to know, because I'm selfish. Because I was mean, stuck up, fucking brat, and I don't want you to know. I don't want you to remember me like that, because I don't want to lose you. He dropped his head, pressing into Izuku's chest. He slowed his breathing, blinking in frustration at his own tears. Not again, he whispered. I don't want you to leave me. There was a long pause, where no one moved, their breathing the only sound of the room. Then, tentative hands rose to brush through his hair. Katsuki couldn't tell which one of them was shaking more. Kachan, I won't leave you. Izuku whispered. Katsuki squeezed his eyes shut, shaking his head. Ever again. I could never want to leave Kachan. You don't know that. Katsuki tried to pull away, but Izuku held strong. I do, he said, catching Katsuki's eyes. I do. I get you're scared, but I need to know, so please, please, Kachan. Katsuki stared into his eyes, so earnest, so trusting, so full of goodness that for a moment Katsuki forgot about their complicated past, forgot Izuku ever left him in the first place. He was stuck in by the younger boy's beauty, and like always before, he knew he would give everything to Izuku. He took a deep breath. Deku. Izuku's head reared back, eyes wide and glazed. The grip he had on Katsuki's wrist tightened, before loosening completely. Izuku? Izuku slumped forward, head resting on Katsuki's chest. His breathing was labored but slow. Katsuki fled, gripping Izuku under his arms to keep him upright. The younger boy shook in his grasp, unresponsive to Katsuki's questions. Katsuki gripped Izuku harder when his shoulders beckoned, shaking more aggressively, lowering them both to the ground. Izuku? He whispered, brushing the boy's hair past his eyes. Katsuki's own widened when Izuku lifted his head. Katsuki was sure he was panicking. He was scared he had hurt Izuku again, like he had all that time ago in the police station, when he said, Kachan. That wasn't the case. Izuku was laughing? I remember. He laughed harder, wrapping his arms around Katsuki's shoulder. Kachan, I remember. Slowly, that laughter tempered off, until Izuku's shoulders shook with heavy sobs. Broken rambled between the choked breaths. Unsure of what else to do, Katsuki simply held Izuku, leaning back against his bed and pulling the younger boy tightly against him. Katsuki tensed as Izuku's words began to form meaning. I shouldn't be here. Why am I here? I'm bad. I shouldn't be here. I'm terrible. Why am I here? Katsuki tried to console him, but Izuku continued to struggle. No, you don't understand. You can't understand what I've done. So many bad things. So bad, 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 bad. I know what you've done, Izuku. We all do. No, no, no. You can't. I killed him, Kachan. I killed him. I killed him. He's gone. I killed him. Izuku, please. We know. I promise we won't leave you. I won't leave you. It's not your fault. No! I killed him, Kachan. My dad. I killed him. I knew him. I knew I did it. And I still killed him. My dad. Oh, Kami. I killed him. I killed him. Katsuki was in shock. He knew Uncle had died a couple years after Izuku had gone missing, but he could never imagine something like this. Still, no matter what Izuku said, no matter how shocking, Katsuki knew it wasn't his fault. It couldn't have been. He'd take care of Izuku. He'd make sure Izuku knew Katsuki cared, that Katsuki wouldn't leave him, no matter what happened when he was Reaper. After a while, when Izuku had tired himself out, Katsuki spoke again. What, exactly do you remember? He asked softly. Or, I guess, what had you forgotten? Izuku took a heavy, shaking breath, continued to lean his body weight against Katsuki. His silence stretched so long, Katsuki began to think he wasn't going to answer at all. I don't. It's not exactly like I forgot everything, but it's. But I also remember everything as well. No, that doesn't make sense either. Izuku shifted so he was sitting on the ground, leaving his legs bent over at Katsuki's own. He leaned his head on Katsuki's shoulder, taking another deep breath. Katsuki was only growing more confused, but let Izuku have his moment, sitting silently while the other boy gathered his thoughts. It's not like everything came back at once, you know? I know what I forgot, so I don't know how much I remember. I know it's confusing. Honestly, how much has changed in my memory. Things just kind of make more sense. I don't know why Deku was my trigger word, especially for remember something his breath hitched. Katsuki lifted his hands to rub behind Izuku's neck. My dad. That was. I've always remembered that moment, but never made the connection. Izuku smiled, barking a laugh. Katsuki almost jumped at how sudden it was. You know, that was how I first read my name. Izuku giggled. He spent so long teaching me to read and said it right, even when I didn't know what it meant. He always made sure I knew I was worth something. His eyes filled with fresh tears, slowly falling down his face. I actually, I remember when I told him you started calling me Deku. He was furious. Said if anybody called me that, especially you, I was to punch him right in the nose. Mom hated that. Katsuki shifted uncomfortably, guilt flooding through his body. Izuku noticed, gripping his hand, tracing the scars. I never really minded, you know? As a kid, it was upsetting and I wanted you to call me Izuku again, but it was okay. Because Kachan gave me the name. It was Kachan's name. Izuku beamed at Katsuki, despite his tears. Katsuki's cheeks heated up, his own welling. He couldn't believe Izuku could be so good. Why he could be so good and go through things so horrid. It wasn't fair. Okay, I know I went through an unexpected one-day break of why did this happen. My only excuse is I've actually been having a really, really hard time with sleep the past week or two, to the point where it's driving me insane and it's frustrating because I feel so absolutely tired and I can't fall the fuck asleep at a regular time slot. And it's to the point where it's gotten ridiculous and I feel absolutely horrible. So that is why I did not post yesterday. I took a break. Unwillingly, may I add. By unwillingly, I mean I passed the fuck out for okay, let's see. I passed the fuck out around, 3, 2 of the afternoon? Let's say it was 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. 1, 2, 3. 3 hours of sleep. Then fell back asleep around 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got another 7 hours of sleep. So what? That's I got okay, so I got the first round I got 3 hours of sleep. The second round I got 7 hours of sleep. I woke up, just regularly woke up. And then I fell back asleep around 5. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, hold up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another 9 hours of sleep. So, if you put that all together, 9 plus 7 plus 3, that is too much goddamn sleep to feel tired, even right now. That is 19 hours of sleep in the past 48 hours. 48 hours? Is it 48 hours? I think it is 48 hours. Let me check. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure it is 48 hours. Let me see. 25 times 2. In the last 50 hours. No, it's 24 times 2. My bad. Yeah, in the last 48 hours, I've gotten 19 hours of sleep. And it's not even in the last, it's actually more likely in the last 24 hours. And get this, I still feel tired. Anyways, me and sleep, we've been having a really hard time. I've been having really, really difficult time sleeping, so if you guys have any sleeping methods of how you go the fuck to sleep, please, I would love to hear them in the comments. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I don't want to keep doing this. I want to go back to when I had like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks. No, not that much, but like a week or two a week ahead of time and ahead of schedule, but it's really hard to do that when sleep has been fighting me and seasonal depression is coming along and it's fighting me. Basically, I'm fighting everything. I am fighting my demons and I am losing. Okay, anyways, I'm here and these next videos might be a little shorter. Like this one, I cut it in half. It could have been one whole video. I did not need to cut it in half. I'm cutting it in half because I'm sleepy, tired, sleepy, eepy, sleepy, sleepy, tired, eepy, sleepy. Okay? I'm sleepy. And, I'm sleepy. I don't have much to say. Izuku's awakening. I could see the remnants of of the ship popping up and like low key, now I want it to develop. I think we've had enough Izuku healing and I think, no, he still needs more healing. We do not need to put romance into this. No, he needs more healing. Let my baby heal. But like at the same time, I see it. At least in Katsuki's stance point. It would be cool to see Katsuki being, you know, so smitten. And then later down the road, we could have Izuku. But like, I see it. I am seeing the remnants. I'm seeing the groundworks. Okay. I'm going insane. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.